Charles R. Swindoll once said, "Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it." Powerful words, aren't they? But what does it truly mean? At its core, this statement proclaims that our reactions, not events, shape our experiences. Imagine life as a vast ocean, and we are the sailors navigating through it. The ocean's waves, the unforeseen storms, represent the events happening to us. Our reaction? That's our steering wheel, the compass guiding us through the tempest. Now, let's dive a little deeper into this concept. There are typically two types of responses to life's challenges, reactive and proactive. Reactive responses are instinctual, immediate, often driven by emotions, like a startled deer leaping away at the first hint of danger. Proactive responses, on the other hand, are thoughtful, deliberate. They're like the chess player meticulously planning 3 moves ahead. Take, for instance, the story of Thomas Edison, the brilliant inventor. One day his lab caught fire, destroying years of hard work and invaluable inventions. Now, a reactive response would have been to despair, to mourn the loss of irreplaceable work. But did Edison react this way? No. He chose a proactive response. He saw this disastrous event not as a setback, but as an opportunity. In the face of calamity, he famously said, "All my mistakes are burnt. Now I can start anew." The fire that could have been the end of Edison's career became a catalyst for his renewed vigor. He went back to his drawing board, rebuilt his lab, and came back stronger, more innovative. His response to the fire, his choice to see an opportunity rather than a disaster, that's what defined his experience. That's what made him a legend. So remember, the power of reaction is not just about navigating through life's storms, it's about seeing the potential for a rainbow after the downpour. It's about turning the tide in your favor, no matter how big the wave. Edison didn't see a devastating fire, he saw an opportunity to rebuild, to innovate, to rise from the ashes. In the face of adversity, our reactions can either cage us or set us free. This isn't a mere cliché, it's a lesson learned from observing the most resilient among us. Resilience, you see, is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It's the tenacity of spirit that allows us to bounce back, to bend but not break under the weight of life's unexpected turns. Now let's talk about acceptance. Acceptance is not passive resignation, it's an active embrace of reality, a conscious decision to confront the unexpected, not with fear, but with courage and grace. To illustrate these concepts, let's consider the life of a man who embodies them, Nick Vujicic. Nick was born without limbs, a condition that could easily have been a source of unending despair. But instead of succumbing to self-pity, Nick chose to react differently. He chose to embrace the unexpected. Nick didn't just accept his condition, he turned it into a source of strength. He became a motivational speaker, traveling the world over, sharing his story, inspiring millions. He used his experience not as a crutch, but as a platform to advocate for the power of positive thinking and the human capacity for resilience. Nick's story is a testament to the power of reaction. Every day, he chooses to focus on what he can do, not on what he can't. He chooses to see possibility where others may see only limitations. He chooses to inspire others with his courage, his resilience, his unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. Nick's story tells us that life is not about the cards we're dealt, but how we play them. It tells us that our reactions have the power to transform our reality. It tells us that we can choose to be victims of circumstance, or we can choose to be architects of our own destiny. Vujicic could have seen his situation as a life sentence, but instead he chose to see it as an opportunity to inspire others. Every day, we have the power to choose our attitude. It's a simple statement, but one that holds tremendous power. An attitude isn't something that just happens to us. It's not a random occurrence or a byproduct of circumstance. Rather, it's a choice, a conscious decision we make every moment of every day. Let's delve into the world of mindset. Mindset is the lens through which we perceive our reality. It's the filter that colors our experiences, shapes our perceptions, and ultimately determines our reactions. Whether we see a challenge as an insurmountable obstacle or an opportunity for growth depends largely on our mindset. This brings us to the concept of attitude. Our attitude is the outward expression of our inner mindset. It's the energy we radiate, the aura we project, and the vibes we send out into the world. A positive attitude can turn a mundane task into a joyous activity, while a negative attitude can make even the most exciting adventure seem dull and uninteresting. Now let's take a moment to reflect on the story of Viktor Frankl, a man who understood the power of attitude better than most. Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, found himself in the most horrific conditions imaginable. Yet even amidst the darkness, he chose to find meaning and purpose. He chose to see beyond the cruelty and despair, to find a glimmer of hope, a spark of humanity. He chose to hold on to his dignity, his spirit, his sense of self. He chose to react with grace, resilience, and unwavering strength. Frankl's story serves as a poignant reminder of the power of choice. No matter how dire the circumstances, no matter how bleak the outlook, we always have the power to choose our attitude. We can choose to be bitter, or we can choose to be better. We can choose to be victims, or we can choose to be victors. We can choose to let life happen to us, or we can choose to happen to life. Frankl's story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, we have the power to choose our attitude. Because at the end of the day, life is not just about what happens to us, but how we choose to react to it. Our reactions not only affect us, but they also create a ripple effect. This ripple effect is a powerful phenomenon that can influence the world around us in ways we may not even realize. Let's delve into the concept of the ripple effect. Picture a tranquil pond. If you were to throw a small stone into it, the stone would create a splash, followed by a series of ripples that would extend far beyond the initial point of impact. Similarly, our reactions to life's events, whether they are big or small, send out ripples into the world. These ripples can affect others in ways that we might never fully comprehend. Let's take a moment to reflect on a historical example of this ripple effect in action. The story of Rosa Parks, a woman who, in 1955, refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white passenger in Montgomery, Alabama, is a fantastic illustration. Parks's reaction to an unjust situation was a small act of defiance. However, it was a reaction that would send out a ripple effect with profound consequences. Parks's refusal to surrender her seat was not just about a seat on a bus. It was a statement. It was a reaction against the injustice of racial segregation. This single act of defiance sparked a significant civil rights movement that would change the landscape of America forever. Her reaction sent out ripples that influenced others to take a stand against racial discrimination. It inspired people across the nation to question, challenge, and ultimately change the status quo. It led to the Montgomery bus boycott, a pivotal event in the civil rights movement. It inspired leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and played a crucial role in the eventual dismantling of racial segregation laws. So remember, every reaction we have, every choice we make in response to life's events, sends out ripples into the world. These ripples can influence others, inspire change, and even alter the course of history. As we navigate through life, let's strive to create positive ripples with our reactions. Parks' single act of defiance created a ripple effect that changed the course of history. We have the power to shape our lives through our reactions. This truth has been our guiding light throughout this exploration of the profound impact that our reactions to life's events can have on our destiny. We've journeyed through the power of reaction, the embrace of the unexpected, the conscious selection of our attitudes, and the ripple effect that our responses can have on the world around us. Each story, from Edison's relentless pursuit of invention to Parks's quiet yet determined defiance, has illustrated the strength and transformative power that lies within our reactions. And now we turn to the story of Malala Yousafzai. A young girl from Pakistan, Malala was shot by the Taliban for daring to advocate for girls' education. But instead of succumbing to fear or despair, Malala chose to react with courage, determination, and an unwavering belief in the power of education. She took her personal tragedy and transformed it into a global platform for change, becoming the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize and inspiring millions around the world. Malala's story is a stark reminder that our reactions are not just about navigating our personal circumstances. They can have far-reaching implications, shaping not only our life trajectories but also the world around us. By choosing to respond with courage in the face of adversity, Malala has become a beacon of hope and resilience for people everywhere. So what does this mean for us? It means that we have the power to shape our reality. Every challenge, every setback, every unexpected twist in our journey is an opportunity for us to choose our reaction. And in making that choice, we are embodying the 90%. We are sculpting our destiny one reaction at a time. Malala's story is a testament to the power of our reactions. Life may be 10% what happens to us, but how we react to it, that's where the real magic lies.